Listen to this one.
So he knows I'm going to lunch.
He knows you're going to lunch.
He knows my vibe. He knows how I like to move, and he only sent $30.
He didn't have to send you that. You're not his child.
I'm not going to bend over backward for a man that is just sending whatever he can.
So him doing the best that he can is not good enough. Y'all so damn ungrateful.
But if I'm talking to him, next time I'm out and he says, oh, you need something for lunch, I'm going to tell him, it's okay, somebody already sent me $100.
And I would politely say, make sure you continue to get that lunch from that somebody else.
Okay. If we're being completely honest, right here, right now, we've all eaten lunch for $30.
Yes.
Let's start
100%.
Wait,
Cute little cafe spot, baby.
I'm
$17.99.
going to snap us and get something popping, but...
Exactly. So why are you tripping?
We're not saying that we're ungrateful.
Right.
Food is food on the table. However, you know what the standard is.
Correct.
Me in that situation, handling it with grace, thank you so much, baby. I'm so appreciative. I'm going to still take a picture of that bill and I'm going to send it to him. Thank you for the 30. That was the tip.
So you're just going to be an appreciative asshole.
Also, men, if you know that you cannot give $30 or if it's hard for you to give, then you need to date within
Don't
your...
date.
You
not
can
date.
date. No, you can.
Do not date.
But date with the woman that, number
not
one,
date.
does not have that expectation. Or number two, it's in that range.
I get people have expectations, and nothing is wrong with that. But stop feeling entitled to other people's funds. If someone gives you something, just be appreciative and stop trying to belittle them. They didn't have to give you shit.
Let's talk about the simps, beta males, cucks, and manginas out there. Seriously, can we please stop cash apping these thoughts? It's like throwing money into a bottomless pit of delusion.
Right? Might as well just hire a professional. At least with a hooker, you know you'll get something for your cash. With these women, it's like they're just using the promise of sex to drain your wallet.
Exactly, Mark. It's all about matching energy. You send them cash, and what do you get in return? A side of entitlement and demands. They act like you should be grateful just to exist in their orbit.
And then they blame and shame you for not making enough money. It's mind-blowing. If you call them out, suddenly you're the bad guy. It's like, excuse me, I didn't realize I was dealing with a professional gold digger.
Next time a female asks for cash, just say, sorry, I didn't realize you were a prostitute, but make it a little more colorful, you know.
Absolutely. And then walk away. Find a woman who actually values your time and effort, or better yet, just go full MGTOW. Why waste your energy on those who only see you as a walking wallet?
Thanks for sending me a message. Unfortunately, you're very ugly, and I will not be replying to you.
If you want to date me, keep this in mind. I'm a single mom. My time is valuable. If you want me to take time away from my children to spend with you, make sure that time is worth it. You know? Didn't expect to get emotional. Take 300. No,
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am.
this shit is so fucking unfair. Like, why the fuck do I have to go through this? And he's just fine. Like, that's not fucking fair. He gets to go about his life, have his home, have his cars, have his financial stability, and I'm over here fucking struggling. I'm over here fucking crying all the time. I'm the one who's going through it. And he's just fucking fine. Like, how is that fucking fair? Why can't I just be fine just the way he is? Why can't I just not fucking care?
And that's the reality check when a high-value male dumps a 304. For him, it's just another day, but for her, it's like the world's ending.
Absolutely. She thought she was going to snag the bag, his house, and half his salary. Dude played it smart and moved on to the next woman, because let's face it, thoughts like her are a dime a dozen.
Right? What did she expect? Demanding a rich, tall, handsome guy while offering nothing but her looks and used goods. It's laughable.
And this is the moment she finally realizes her true value in the dating market. Getting flown out doesn't equate to getting commitment from a high-value man. That lesson hit hard.
Now she's alpha widowed for life. There won't be another man who measures up to the one who dumped her. Good luck finding that again.
Exactly. She's learned the hard way that looks alone won't get you a lasting relationship. It's a cold, hard truth, and she's left to face it all alone.
Get ready with me while I tell you a story about a time I cheated on my boyfriend and don't regret it. Now, I would like to preface this by saying I do not condone cheating. It's not healthy. It's not good. But I try to find, the light at the end of the tunnel in every situation. And let's just say the situation brought me back to life and made me wake up and realize that I was not happy. Now, to start this off, you should know that I was in a very, very toxic relationship for about 3.5, 4 years, and things weren't going very well. Now, where the issue started is my ex and I were preparing for Valentine's Day. And right around the time of Valentine's Day, he decides that he is going to go on a boys' trip to Scottsdale, which I was fine with. I didn't mind when he went out of town. But he lets me know the dates on it, and I start laughing. I was like, excuse me? I was like, that's over Valentine's Day. It was like, it fell over a whole weekend, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, we have plans for Valentine's Day. We had reservations to a really nice restaurant, and he was just making adverse plans to go off with boys on a boys' trip on Valentine's Day. Now, this man was slick. So what he did was he had remembered that my girlfriends had talked about going on a trip to Mexico when we had been all hanging out a few weeks ago. And he's like, oh my God, you go on a girl's trip, I'll go on a guy's trip. And in return, I'll pay for your plane ticket for you to go. And I was like, but I don't know, kind of a trip, with my girlfriends seemed like a good idea. So I agreed. Now, as I'm taking off to go to Mexico, I realize this man has only bought me an economy seat. And that's fine, don't get me wrong. But if you are a man and you mess up Valentine's Day to go on a boys' trip and you're sending your girl off somewhere else, at least get her a Delta Comfort seat. But I was, in the back in economy, and it was fine. So I take off, heading off to Mexico with my girlfriends. And we get to Mexico, hanging out, having a great time. And all of a sudden, I see this guy's Instagram story that looks just like where I'm at. And it was a guy who I had met in Atlanta, out and about, but he had moved to a different state. And so we kind of kept in touch with each other, but just as friends. I met him when he had a girlfriend. He met me whenever I had a boyfriend. So the second that I see that we are literally in the same place, same location, I reach out and I was like, hey, we should all get together, because everyone knew each other who was associated with this group. And let me tell you, this man, beautiful. Probably the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'll just go ahead and have to say we're going to need a part 2, because I need to continue, and I'm getting hot thinking about how cute this guy is.
Well, look at our girl here, justifying her cheating with a whole list of excuses like she's some kind of victim. Classic move.
You'd think she's auditioning for a soap opera. Oh, poor me. I had to cheat because life is so hard.
Seriously. And let's not forget, when modern women confess to something sketchy, it's usually to cover up an even bigger mess. Like, surprise, surprise, she's in Mexico with this guy she just happened to know.
Yeah, because what are the odds? Out of all the tropical paradises, she picks Mexico to bump into an old flame. And of course he's part of her friend group. Sounds like a classic setup to me.
Right, Mark. It screams, let's coordinate a little revenge screw. Shall we all, while her boyfriend thinks she's just out with the girls?
Exactly, Samuel. Listen, most guys don't just decide to ignore key holidays with someone they care about unless something's really up. I bet this wasn't her first rodeo with this dude.
You know it. She's got her eyes all googly over him, and her boyfriend probably caught wind of it and checked out of the relationship. Smart move on his part.
And here's the kicker, fellas. This is exactly why you avoid dating traveling career women. Their jobs. Perfect cover for all sorts of nonsense.
Okay, girls, if you have a husband named Mark who is in Clearwater Beach this weekend, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he was cheating on you. So a little bit of backstory. My friend and I went to Tampa this weekend for the Bucks game. On Saturday, we spent the day in Clearwater at the beach, as you can tell by my raccoon face, because apparently I hate myself and I refuse to put sunscreen on. I'm stupid. So anyway, we're on the beach all day. And it was so funny because we're talking about how we knew we were going out that night and we wanted to meet friends. So, one for each of us, and hang out and have a good night and have fun. My other friend is very into all the woo-woo stuff, and she told me that you need to be very specific when you manifest. So we probably should have been specific in that we wanted these friends to be single. So Saturday night, we got to the bar and we see these two guys. They're pretty cute, but I immediately noticed they have wedding rings on, and I don't mess around with married men. So I'm like, nope, no go. Well, the one starts making eyes at me, Mark, starts making eyes at me, and he's like, I can just tell he's going to come over and say something. So I say something to my friend. I'm like, he's about to come over here. And she's like, oh, like, they're really cute. Why do you seem annoyed? And I'm like, well, they have wedding rings on. And she's like, that one doesn't. I'm like, I swear he did, but like, okay, maybe I saw wrong. So they come over, and Mark is talking to my friend, and then this other guy, I don't remember his name, we'll just call him Josh, I guess, was talking to me. And I was just like, you know, whatever, entertaining the conversation because my friend was having fun with Mark. And I'm just like, whatever. But I thought he was married. So he starts to try to like dance and kiss and whatever. And I'm like, sir, you are married. And he's like laughing. He pulls up his finger. It's not actually a wedding ring. It's like a keychain. I'm like, why are you wearing that? And he's like, I don't know, whatever. Men are so weird. He probably is married, and who freaking knows? Anyway, so we had a really fun time, had a great night. We were like, this is exactly what we wanted. Like, everything was going fine. Well, we go to leave. We have to take an Uber back to Tampa. And Josh hops in the car with us. And we're like, okay. He's like, I have to go back to Tampa too. I'm like, whatever. So I asked my friend, I'm like, hey, did you get Mark's number? Like, you guys seemed like you were really hitting it off. Like, you know, whatever. And she's like, no, I didn't. And then so she starts asking Josh about Mark. And Josh is like, oh, Mark is married. Like, he has a kid and he travels for work and this is just what he does. We were floored, like actually floored, because it's just like my friend asked Mark twice if he had ever been married and he said no both times. I just can't understand these men. Like, they're lawless. They're unhinged. There's absolutely no sense of like consciousness. I just can't even understand. So anyway, girls, if you have a husband who is named Mark, who is in Clearwater, allegedly for work, who knows if that's even true, lives in Ohio, allegedly, and is from Montana or Wisconsin, she can't remember which one, but your husband is shisty and apparently cheats on you often, and I'm so sorry, and you deserve so much better.
Samuel, look what she wrote in the video description. Are there any good guys left asking for a friend?
It's wild how the good guys get overlooked for these cheaters, right? Just look at your friend Z. This just proves that women are out here chasing the top 10% of men like it's a scavenger hunt.
Exactly. And you know what that means? Lots of women are sharing those top-tier guys, whether they want to admit it or not. It's like a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and guess who always gets left standing?
Totally. And let's be real. Many of these ladies have their hooks set, but they'd rather turn a blind eye than actually take responsibility for their actions. It's all about that forgiveness later strategy, right, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. As long as they can snag a top guy, who cares if they're just helping him cheat? It's like they think cheating is somehow a guy's fault, but where's the blame for these bed wenches like her?
Exactly, Mark. These men cheat because they know the moment they jump into bed with these women, it's a free-for-all. Get a load shot in them and ask questions later, am I right?
Spot on. And honestly, this whole video is just one big flex on another woman, especially the one married to the cheater. It's like, hey, I'm getting the attention over your marriage talk about a power move.
Yeah, and let's not kid ourselves, this chick is just dunking on other thoughts while pretending to be all concerned. If she really cared about men cheating, she wouldn't even give them the time of day.
Where are y'all finding these men? Where are y'all finding these men? Because, baby, I'm a single mom, and it's like 1 in a million that I'm going to find a man that wants to step up and be a stepdad for my son and care for me. Like, caring for one person is a lot, and men don't even know how to do that. Men can't even stay loyal to a woman. And I'm asking for a man to stay loyal to me and my son. That's like a rare occurrence. Like, especially for a woman that doesn't go out and, like, I don't party, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I really am just a mom. That might be a problem, but I'm vibing. Like, I love being a mom. Is that my entire personality? No. But I'm a single mom. I work from home. Like, this is the life. So I'm just trying to add a little bit of spice. I want to be loved. I want to love someone. Dating apps are just not a thing. They don't work. They don't work. Because with me, I'm not going on no date. Like, the last person I was going to go on a date with, bro, they try to have a me plan it. And me pay. They were talking about, like, yeah, so like, you're going to cover your portion? Baby. Like, Is it too much to ask for flowers and like a proper date? Is that just like dead in this society? Now I know that my dream man probably isn't in Pennsylvania, but where are you at? And yes, like I'm putting my faith in God and like praying and knowing that like he will bring me a man when the time is right. But like I'm ready. I'm ready. It's hookup culture. That's what it's about. Men just wanting to get their pee-pees wet and then dip. And honey, that's not happening. That's not happening. There's a trillion other girls that will let your pee-pee get wet. Okay? A lot of girls. I'm not that girl. I'm not. I don't got time to waste. I don't got time to waste. So, what do y'all do? What do y'all do if you don't go out and you don't party and you don't go to bars and you don't, anywhere I'm going, I'm with my son. And you gotta have balls to approach me when I'm with my son. Most men are probably like, oh, she's in a relationship. I'm single. Do I need to wear a freaking single neckband? I will never do that, but maybe I'm just meant to be single for a little bit. Rest of 2023, I'm supposed to be single. I've been single for long enough. I'm ready for a husband. I'm ready for a husband. I am too old. I'm 25, but I'm ready. I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready for my husband. Send in your applications. On a serious note, though, I'm 5'11", so I need a man that's 6'2" or above. I'm trying to have D1 babies. Okay. Anyways.
So what about the guy who shot his load in you after hitting it raw? Why isn't he being loyal? I mean, you let him into your box, shouldn't he be stepping up?
Right? It's like she's expecting a medal for sharing her gifts. And let's be real, any woman who drops the words vibe or bro is definitely for the streets. You can practically smell the desperation.
No wonder her baby daddy ghosted her. She's out here acting like a rapper, and it's annoying.
Seriously. And then she has the audacity to call herself a woman of God while she's out there having sex out of wedlock. Can we talk about that logic for a second?
Exactly, Mark. Where was God in her thoughts when she was being a 304 at the club? It's like she's got selective memory now that she's a single mom.
And now she thinks God's gonna bless her with a great man? Please. There are plenty of actual God-fearing women out there who've kept their legs closed waiting for a good man. Yet here she is, expecting a miracle.
It's like a bad joke. Why would God reward her for her poor choices when there are women who deserve it way more?
I get up and then all day I'm tired. And I want to take a nap all day. I have no motivation. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to work. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to hang out with anyone. I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to read a book. I don't want to even go on my phone. But also I'm bored. I don't care.
It's hilarious how these young women are already traumatized by Chad and Tyrone. Talk about broken. But let's be real, it's usually their fault for picking a guy they're not even qualified to be with.
Exactly, Samuel. Or they just didn't do enough to keep him around. A woman should feel something when a good man leaves, like a wake-up call.
Right? Instead of recognizing that her body's trying to tell her to get back with him, she just moves on to the next bad boy instead.
It's like, oh, I'll just jump to the next guy, but what she really should do is humble herself, go back to him and say, I'll do anything to make this work.
But we both know that takes a whole lot of humility. Most of these top 10% guys, they've got no incentive to settle down when they can live the playboy lifestyle.
So guys, remember this: if she can't recognize her own role in the relationship drama, it's time to keep moving. There are better options out there without the baggage.
Absolutely. Keep those standards high, gents. Don't get trapped in the cycle of broken hearts.